Is it just your desire to be seen as like a normal person?
Yeah, it's partly that. I mean, it's also when I was a kid, I emailed Henry Rollins and he emailed back, and I emailed Guy Picciotto from Fugazi and he emailed back, and I wrote to Chris from Propaganda and he wrote back, and you know that was 17 years ago now, if not more, and I'm still talking about it. And
right.
and it was a punk rock moment in the sense that it showed to me that the people who make music aren't some sort of weird case of aliens that you don't have access to. And I'm still very wedded to the principle that music should be a community, it should be a conversation between equals. Do you know what I mean? And if it's not, I'm not that interested in it. I'm not interested in delivering missives to people I look down on.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit, you know? And as I'm sure you've seen, if I run into anyone in the street, I always say hey and hang out and the rest of it. I'm never going to run away and hide from someone. But there's limited hours in the day,
right?
You know, because like earlier today, just because I was bored, I retweeted a thing someone saying going to a show on my own, and I was like, hey, everyone help this person out, kind of thing, and it was great because those people were just like, fuck yeah, come to the show, it's gonna be cool. Or like, you know, there was one the other day where someone was like, don't know anything about Effect, I don't know where to start, and I just go to retweet, and then suddenly there's like 500 replies of people saying stuff. That I think is fucking cool, and I love the idea of someone coming down to a show, making new friends, and the rest of it. Some people I was hanging out with in New York night for the last two were all like, we all met the Looney Tunes in store in May, and now we're all really good friends. Yeah, and how cool is that? That's fucking great. When I was like 15, 16, I kind of wandered into the hardcore scene, and I say hardcore rather than punk because that's very much what it was, the UKHC scene in London in the 90s. And at the beginning, I was extremely kind of naive and wide-eyed and excited about it, and I had this sort of glimpse of Jerusalem almost, I want to say, where it was just like, it was a scene that was like completely egalitarian, and it was self-sufficient, and it was self-sustaining, and it was you know, it was just passionate, but it was cool, and it was focused on the music. And I always had this thing at the first hardcore show I went to, which was a garage in London in 1997, I think it was. And like the first band finished, and the bass player just got off the stage and walked into the crowd, and the guy who'd been stood next to me just leaped up on stage and just started playing the guitar, and it was like, holy fuck, like the bands are the crowd are the bands, this is the shit. The thing is, obviously I discovered as time went on that I was completely naive to think that the whole thing was that perfect, and it was full of bitching and backstabbing, and I got beaten up by Pierre from Knuckledust in an alleyway, and it was all fucked. And the whole thing was sort of tragic that it wasn't what I thought it was, but you know, and punk never is, but if there was a way, I mean, part of it is me trying to kind of recreate that around myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just an idea of a kind of egalitarian music community that's passionate and focused on music.
Well, I think you're achieving that.
Hooray! But I mean, I just think that I had a real moment when I was at the Extra Mile party at the Monarch the other day when Skinny Lister and Will Varley played, and PJ Bond and various others, and it was just kind of like I'm given that kind of hope, like that naive optimism followed by a burn that I had when I was a kid. I've always been quite suspicious of the idea of scenes. I mean, in a way, that's kind of what the whole Love Own Song record is about.
Right.
But like. I kind of almost, I let myself feel like, yeah, this kind of is a scene, just because like everyone kind of knew everyone,
mm-hmm.
at least by eye. Like in you know, obviously like my status within that scene is exalted to a degree, and there's no point in me trying to pretend it isn't. But it's like even all the just kind of punters, it was like almost everyone. It was like, yeah, I recognise that person. I've definitely met you like 4 or 5 times. All the bands know each other, and it was like this is kind of a scene.
Right.
And fuck, that's kind of cool.